man, I just squeezed my spine together so much it popped. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Margaret Pinard. I'm a historical fiction author and eclectic reader, and you're on Booktube. And what do we have for you on Booktube this morning, or afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are? Well, normally it would be a Wednesday wrap-up, depending on the schedule. I do those every other Wednesday. Talk about the books that I've finished. But today, we're celebrating an anniversary. So we're going to be doing a tag. It's called the Name 5 tag. And this is created by Sue Jackson. And I just popped that in the description if you're curious. It's got several prompts, and it's to celebrate a Booktube anniversary. So Sue is celebrating her 5th anniversary last year, I believe. And today, believe it or not, is my 6th anniversary of being on Booktube. First video came out. So I've been saving this one. I had, let's see, Daniela at Uncommon Reader tag me in March, and then Alan's Reads tagged me in April. So I've been waiting since then, hoarding my tag abilities to do it today, because August 19th, 2026, it's been 6 years. Pretty crazy. All right, so this has some great questions. I'm just going to adapt all of them from 5 to 6. So there's several questions about channels and several questions about books. So we've got the Booktube side and we've got the book side, which is great. So Sue made a great tag. And if your anniversary is coming up, feel free to jump in and watch it and do it as well. So let's see. The first question is, let's put a banner up. Actually, it's been called Name 5 and Take 5, but I looked up Sue's version and it was Name 5. So I think Alan twisted it around a little bit, but Name 5 is the right one from the horse's mouth. All right, the first prompt is, 5 channels you regularly watch, and yeah, here we go. Oh no, okay, that's the second one. The first one is, how long have you been on Booktube? When did you start your channel? What were your goals? Oh, right. So it says YouTube, but I'm going to say Booktube because I started as an author like 2014, I think, and I had like 2 videos up and I didn't really do anything with it because I was running around trying to do all the social media things. I was on Instagram, I was on Facebook, I was on Twitter, I had a blog, a website. I was trying to do all the things, and I sort of gave up after 2021 maybe, and just went fully into YouTube because I think that this was the best suited for my personality. Oh, I was going to put headphones on because the guys make a noise 2 floors down. It bugs me, so I think that will help if I do that. So, does this okay? Can you hear me okay still? Give me a thumbs up if you can. I'll just keep talking. So yeah, 6 years today from the first Booktube video. Not the newbie tag, because that wasn't the first one I did. And goals. So, okay. Here's why YouTube might be the best fit for this author. I loved the theater growing up, and I've got this sort of performance energy thing going on. I don't know if that comes across, but definitely love going to karaoke, love going to dance. There's this sort of like creative expression energy that is performance that I miss from being a kid and being free to do those things. So I think this satisfies that a little bit, having myself up on a screen. So yeah, I'm admitting to that. I'm a performer. Second goal, I would say, is that I was looking for like-minded readers. So I was looking for folks who like historical fiction. I found a few folks who like talking about books a little deeper. People who like talking about biblioserendipity, to how books talk to each other. and not following the latest trends or flash in the pan. So like-minded readers. And then the third goal was getting the word out about my books. So as an author, I have these books, and I was like, how do I keep telling people about the backlist when I'm only producing a book every 2 years? So this is how I sort of keep that conversation going, drop in sales, different things. So those are my 3 goals. It's been 6 years. It's been a long, wild ride, right? Let's see. Is the sound still okay with the headphones? I know I switched, but let me know if it is or is not. Question number 2 is, name 5 channels that you watch most regularly and try to keep up with. Okay, so this is a fun one. I watch most regularly, and they're going to be Booktube channels, not like all the YouTube channels, right? So, hi Jim. Hi Catpaw. Catpaw had an answer for the question in the thumbnail, which was, is it the anniversary of your first novels being published? I said no, and then Jim is here, so hello. So I watch regularly. So I have about 700 channels that I'm subscribed to. I think it might be a little less than that because I've been trying to cull channels that I don't choose to watch when I see they have new episodes. So the ones that I definitely want to try to keep up with that are constantly getting in my watch later list are the following. So I guess I'll just post them in and talk about them all and get to hype up my friends here. So the first one I thought of was Marion at Writer in Rwanda. And oh my goodness, it has been so long since I've been following Marion. So she has had a long running blog. She's doing a series on her channel actually, where she talks about when she first arrived in Rwanda, in Kigali, and now. So it's like 20 years separating when she first got there and now. And she took copious notes and journaling at that time. So she's going back over all the things that were new and how different it was and people she knew that have vanished. And like, it's this really fun series. So anyway, I started following her when she was already in Rwanda, but it's probably like 15 years now, like a long time, because I found her blog when I was first starting to self-publish. And then we just like, I would comment and she would respond. And so we got to know each other through that. And then we both sort of different times, I think, drifted onto YouTube from other social media. But Marion, great channel, writer, in Kigali, Brit does lots of interesting different genre things, does lots of interesting different creative things. And currently she's just bought and is managing a restaurant. And so there's lots of, besides the 20 years ago and now series, there's also the opening a restaurant in Rwanda series, which is fascinating being a small business owner. So yes, pretty fun. Jim is one of my cohorts, so he's got a 6-year anniversary just coming up. And if you haven't done this tag, it's right there for you, Jim, if you want to do it. And Leslie is here. Say hi. Hi, hi, hi. So far, everyone who is in the chat, I have named in the tag. So that's kind of fun. Okay, so that's Marion. Then the next one I'm going to say I watch regularly is Daniela, who is one of the people that tagged me. So Daniela's channel is Uncommon Reader. She is Italian, but she is doing her Booktube channel in English, obviously, because I cannot speak Italian. She has great taste in all sorts of books, especially, I would say, translated literature and classics and contemporary literary fiction. She's not one of the original channels, so she's probably like, I've been following her about 2 years, but she's got a lovely manner and just a very nice, friendly presentation, curious, enthusiastic, a good mix. And so Daniela, who tagged me in this tag, who apparently has been on here 5 years, or maybe not, maybe she adjusted it as well. But I regularly watch her content and she regularly puts out content. So it's a good match. Hello, Gareth. Hello, hello. Other channels I regularly watch. Okay, so this may be one that people are not as familiar with because she's a bigger YouTuber, and she's gone from Booktube to crossing over to sort of bigger commentary videos, and that is Leonine, so the book Leo. So she's got a very aesthetic style. So some people like don't really appreciate that. I understand, but I love her thumbnails, her background, her organization, her journaling. She does lots of things that are very calming and pleasing, but then she's also got these sort of hard-hitting, like analyzing book trends and literary trends and publishing trends, and I think those are great too. Um, so she's a little bit younger. I think she's in Belgium because she has a French name. She speaks French, but I think she's in a country that speaks multiple languages. It's not the Netherlands. I think it's Belgium, but I could be wrong. So I started watching her a while ago, and she doesn't put out as many videos, but I do watch most of them when they come out. They go on my watch later list as well. So she's lovely. Another more recent addition would be Chilanda. That's Library Without Borders. And I keep waiting for her channel to have like a hype button, and it does not, which angers me. She's a great reporter out on books. So she is married with kids. Her partner does the editing. Her kids are never on the videos, but she like occasionally talks about them. She occasionally comes into my chat, which is awesome. She's got, I think, about 1,500 subscribers, so she's like in the middle ground, like more than me, but not like huge. So I want more people to know about her. She can be about a month behind, like the month that she's reporting on, but books are really evergreen, so it doesn't really matter to me. She talks a lot about her home country, which is Congo, and the politics and the activism, and I really appreciate that she like highlights that and doesn't lose track of like her priorities, and they come into a lot of the book she reads as well, which is lovely. She also just said that she is reading the prison memoir by Ngugi wa Thiong'o, who's a Kenyan, who Leslie in the chat is also planning to do buddy read on. So I wanted Leslie and Chilanda to connect, and like maybe we can do like a three-way buddy read or something and have a live stream interview. I mean, that would be pretty cool. So anyway, Chilanda is fabulous and a great speaker, and reads really interesting books, some of which I haven't heard of. I don't think she picks as obscure books as I do, which could be better or worse depending on your point of view. She's great. I try to watch her stuff regularly. Okay, here's someone who is not as regularly posting, but whenever she puts up a video, I do watch it, and it's excellent. And that is Bethann Berninga Sokolar. And she is a scientist and reader, and she has a young family. She's out on the East Coast, and she used to be more regular, but then her job situation changed, and so now she's more busy, especially with like a little toddler. So yes, but Van does really great with nonfiction books, as well as indie authored books, as well as literary fiction. She's got a wide range, like a lot of the people I follow. So whenever I see Beth Ann come out with something, especially if it's a climathon or nature related book, I definitely make sure to watch it. And yeah, you should definitely subscribe. She's fab. Jim chiming in saying the book Leo is great. Yes. And Leslie saying, I wonder what qualifies a tuber to have a hype button. I know she's got almost 1,500 subscribers, and whenever I look to try to hype a video, I know it's within the first like few days, but even when I'm in the day it comes out, it doesn't give me the option. I'm like another one of those opaque new systems that we can't do much about. All right, and my sixth, because it's my 6th anniversary, I get 6 booktubers that I watch regularly. It's Jim. He's in the chat. So Jim and I we're like, and we have the feeling that we're in the same cohort, because I think when we jumped in pretty soon, we started watching each other's videos and have really like supported each other by commenting and whatnot. So, and tagging and all that kind of community stuff. So Jim has continually been growing, whereas I have sort of stopped. I'm waiting to hit 1,300. It's been at $12.99 for like a week now. If you know someone who could subscribe and make me get to 1,300, that will have been a year for me to increase by 100 subscribers. So it's definitely slowed down, but that's fine. I was just kind of looking to hit 1,000 and sort of make that mark and get that goal, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done. as with many other things, my goals are short term and reachable. And then once they're accomplished, like I don't want to keep striving for the same thing. That's really not my style. So, but Jim has continued to innovate and look at the analytics and put out like the TBR and have voting polls and the shorts. And so Jim's doing great, doing a lot of work and growing, obviously. So that's fantastic. And the books, not books, the videos that I like to watch. I think Jim, you do twice a week still, because I know you have Wednesdays. You have What Are You Reading Wednesdays, but I think you have another like the 1 minute reviews, and maybe you have another. I don't exactly know the schedule, but yeah, about the same pace as me. So it's possible to keep up with Jim's videos. And yes, one of the ways he supported me is reading my books, and he read The Keening way back in 2020, which is amazing. So thanks for taking a chance on that book, Jim, and I'm really glad you enjoyed it and let people know. I'm sure it's led to sales, which yay! Oh, speaking of which, my draft to digital thermometer, I just checked this morning before actually at the moment I was supposed to start the live stream, and I sold a book in August. So I'll put it up again. Another couple notches there so we could see it move. Uh, uh, there we go. $2.67 or whatever that book got me. Yay! Oops, I don't have my mouse plugged in. All right. Jim says, yes, his latest video was a Jane Austen ranking. I saw you were planning it and you were asking people, and then you put it out yesterday, which is great. In honor of Jane Austen July, I'm pretty sure, even though we're mid-August, because it takes a while to like decide. Yeah, ranking videos are hard. I put out videos Sundays and Wednesdays. Okay, that used to be my schedule. And if I have time and inspiration on other days. Got it. Yay! So those are the channels that I watch regularly, try to keep up with, and most of them I put in my watch later list and then watch them later. So definitely encourage you to subscribe. The next prompt is about smaller channels that may not be known that you would like people to discover. Name 5 channels that you enjoy that are smaller or newer and that you'd like other people to know about. All right. So smaller or newer? Well, not newer, but trucking right along, we have in the chat Leslie. So I'm going to put Leslie's channel, Books, Gurs, and Purrs, into the chat. Leslie is an amazing booktuber in my home state of California, and she posts a lot about social justice books as well as vampire books. So she's got this huge readathon going based on the Interview with the Vampire series. I think it's ITV. Can't remember the station that it's on. But I'm not so much into the series that they're watching, but they do watch alongs, and I get like the reflected glow of fun from that, but I'm not watching it, so it's just sort of a distant thing. But I do check into the books that she's putting into her readathon, the ones that she suggests, and then definitely the nonfiction, the social justice, like some buddy reads we've done on the side have been fantastic, and I love the way that she thinks deeply about things and supports other people and just wants the world to be a better place, don't we all? So Leslie, shout out to you and thanks for being there. I hope other people will subscribe. The next smaller or newer is one that I also think is sort of out of the circle of most of the people that I watch or watch me, and that is Jessica at Lady Lovestead Reads. So Jessica is someone who puts out videos, I think maybe like once a month now, not as often, but I check in almost every day with her Discord because they're very active on Discord, her community. There's like a dozen, 24, 24 maybe people who weigh in on different topics. They've got a bunch of group read-alongs. They talk about our animals and barn life. They talk about supporting each other and just checking in. And she just does a great job managing all that, like not being a therapist for everybody, but like hosting a really lively and open community, and I think that's really lovely. So she'll occasionally put out different versions in the Discord as well, because like some of the things are more personal, She does have chronic illness, and so if you are a chronic illness sufferer, I think it's a great community for people who understand and are just there to check in and be nice to each other. So I love that. I love that vibe, and her channel where she reports back on the animals and changing work and the book she's reading are also fab. So love Jessica's channel. Smaller and newer. Again, not necessarily new, but smaller is my friend Rachel at RK Stumbling Bear. So Rachel is in the middle of the US, in the middle of the Midwest. And she primarily reads science fiction and fantasy, but she'll also read nonfiction and occasionally other things based on readathons. She has a fun TBR game. There are a lot of people out there who have TBR games that are like so complicated that I just sort of can't. It's like too much to follow because I'm not doing it. And Rachel's is pretty easy. It's like a roll the dice, and she participates in readathons, so I don't have to, which at this point in my booktube age, I appreciate. But also has read my books, has done a lot of like indie author stuff. She does judge for the SPIFBO. I can't remember what it's spelled out now, but like the science fiction awards, independent awards that we have on Booktube. And I think she's just a really great community member, both in her community. She was part of Agitation August and talked about her community work last year, but also in the Booktube community online because, yeah, I just think that she is open and is a faithful commenter and is just endeavoring to keep balance and like keep up with things and not just neglect or turn or forget. And I really value that in friends in real life and online. Don't ghost me, bro. That's for Ren. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I love seeing Rachel's comments and I love seeing her videos. And yeah, especially if you are a sci-fi reader, you should subscribe. She does a great job with those. Who do I have next? Smaller or newer? And again, newer than me, but more of a small channel. This is one of the ones I could have put in the regularly watch category, but Becca of Read Becca. So her thumbnails are kind of like my wrap-up thumbnails. It's very short and to the point. You get the cover she's going to discuss, which I appreciate and adore. She's got interesting tastes between literary fiction and genre fiction and like heavy hitters. And so I like just having the rotation of different things and to hear what she has to say about those different things. So Becca's got also what she puts in her videos are what she's watching. So if you like a media update and then what's happening in her life. So she does kind of an off the bookshelf regular update of books read, things watched, and activities in life, and that's nice. You get a little slice, but it's not like overwhelming, I guess. So Read Becca, regularly watch a smaller channel, encourage you to subscribe. All right, so I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at number 5. That is going to be Kiana. So Kiana could have been in the next category as well, but I put her in this category because I watched one of her videos recently and I was like, she should do more videos. I wish I was online when she was live. She sort of does impromptu lives, which are book hauls or wrap-ups or I guess discussions. And so I never know when they're going to come up. But when I do catch them, they're really fun. She's sitting on her bedroom floor. She's like saying, no, kids, don't come in. So it's like the busy life. I can get that. Her channel is called Shexy Lady. So check the spelling on that one, but it's cute. And yeah, she's just all over the map with books, kind of like Elaine. She does like genre books to literary fiction to backlist to classics and has room for all, has sort of like an openness of mind for lots of different types of books. And then the book hauls are just fun because she'll also go into detail like, oh, I got this many on this sale and this many from this store. And I like doing that. I definitely keep track of where I get books. So I like that little glimpse into like the shopping habits and, the book hoarders unite kind of vibe is definitely supportive to me as well. So thank you, Kiana, for that. I love it. And then Number 6 for newer, smaller is going to be, here we go. Um, Florence at One More Book podcast. And she's someone that I have only started watching fairly recently, maybe 6 months. And I think her channel is a couple years old. But I did want to note that on One More Book podcast, there's a period at the end that is part of the channel name if you're looking for it. It's kind of a name that could be could give a lot of search results. So just cluing you in there's a period at the end of the channel name. Florence is from Kenya, but she's living in Germany. So her channel is in English. And I saw one of her recent videos, and then something in it made me want to see more about her start on Booktube. And so I went back to her newbie tag, which I don't do very often, but I watched that yesterday and it was really cool. So she was talking about where she is, what she likes to read. And yeah, I just like the books that she chooses and her reviews of them. And she's like, how would I describe it? It's an interesting, in-depth, different perspective for me, especially like the types of books she chooses and then what she chooses to say about them. So I just really liked like being let into that world and getting another perspective. And yeah, she's lovely. She's like smiling all the time when she talks. And yeah, she's just a bright presence on Booktube. So smaller, newer channel, and encourage you to join in. Leslie says, Key knows how to find good deals on books. Yes. I think it was, no, I can't remember. I don't think that was her. I think that was Florence actually. But yeah, I love the, 5 books for $2 or whatever. I don't find those here. We're too much of a book town in Portland. So I guess that inflates the price. All right, we've got one more prompt with channels that I'll go over, and I get to hype up these folks, which I love. And this one is for the commenters. So prompt number 4, name 5 of your best commenters who may or may not have channels of their own, with whom you've developed a friendship just through commenting back and forth. So I love this question. Thank you, Sue, for putting that in there, because there are people who don't want to make their own videos, but do like being part of the community and commenting in chat or in comments after live has ended. And you definitely like appreciate people taking the time to engage, right? Not just because of the algorithm, but because you want to know that you're not alone in the void when you're talking about books and when you're talking about your love and your passion and all this kind of stuff. Like, it's nice to know someone else thinks, oh yeah, I agree. Or, I really thought differently about that book. Interesting, just like engaging like humans. So let me attack my six because it's my 6th anniversary. Commenters. So this channel is rather new, but you will know it by another name. She's gone through several different channels, but this is the newest one. It's called Tyann's Page, and that used to be just Eva. So Eva is the champion of the AuthorTube chats. She's so supportive. She's ubiquitous. Wait, what's the joke about ubiquitous? I can't remember. Anyway, maybe it's ludicrous. Maybe I'm thinking of State Farm Insurance instead. Anyway, Tyann, I'm trying to transition to calling her Tyann instead, has transitioned the channel from sort of a behind the scenes to more of a like living slice of life vlog. She's also on TikTok and does a lot of like, good enough and house cleaning and goal setting, and she's currently doing book cataloging. So Gareth, if you need a buddy to book catalog with, although I know you just finished your audit, but yeah, Tyann, she's just very upfront and honest about like, I don't have the attention span for that, or, that really doesn't matter to me, or calling people on their BS in the chat, which I value her very highly for. So I just love, I tried to meet up with her when I was in Missouri, and I'm very sad it didn't come to fruition, but maybe in another time frame I'll be around somewhere and we can meet up, because that would be fun. Yes, and Gareth agrees. The importance of people who watch and comment can't be overstated, right? They're like your secret weapon. You feel like if no one is out there, like, there are some. So Tyann is definitely one of my favorite commenters. And I love her. I love her energy. I love her enthusiasm. And I love her, like, I don't know, her, like, her, 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 my my super commenters. And Jim agrees. I always try to encourage my viewers to comment. Yes, I know that. I definitely notice. Um, let's see. So Julie is next. Julie is absent today, but normally she's like one of the first ones in. I just got my first postcard from Julie. So a commenter hasn't done videos, but really keen involvement in book discussions and tag answers, and she's just lovely. She's the one who said, like, I'm setting my alarm so that I don't forget Margaret's live. So I mean, that just made me endeared to her forever. Oh, let me put it up there. She's a SoCal lady, and so, you know, she traveled and have things we can talk about, but also mainly books and Booktube. We're getting into some Booktube discussion as well behind the scenes, which is fun. So Julie, what do we have next? Commenters extraordinaire. I have Felicia. So Felicia is the channel dreamingtruth.author, and she will just turn up randomly and say hello and hang out in the chat. Very busy lady author, and, you know, family that she's got to manage and everything, but I always appreciate when she drops in and says hello. And the fact that it's been years and years where we've had this like very low-key relationship just makes me value that. Again, like Rachel, I feel like she's always like trying to keep up with things and not neglect people. And I realize that as someone who likes to do that myself, when I see it in other people, I go, I see you. I see that work, that emotional work, that labor. And I praise you for it and like just thank you for it. So thank you to Felicia. And I'm always happy to see your name pop up. I hope you're doing well with your books and everything. Oh, here we go. Jim says Julie also comments regularly on his What Are You Reading Wednesday videos. That's fun. And she, well, I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe if she comes on and sees this, we can ask her, did my channel lead her to yours because you're both in my chat, or did your channel lead her to mine because you're bigger, like, and you would have had more people? I don't know. That's curious. All right. Cat Paw. Cat Paw needs no introduction. Also usually here, but not today. Cat Paw, Rosales, they, them, the cutest comments. Actually, Cat Paw was first, right? Yeah. Okay. Yes, you've just been quiet. Tube is being weird. Oh no. Okay. Well, we're sorry that it's like being weird for you, but we're glad you're here. You're a commenter extraordinaire. Da, 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 da. And I just really appreciate when you're here early saying hello, you know, making me realize we're not the only ones on the internet. The planet is still there, and you're way down in Mexico and I'm way up in Portland, and we can't mail things to each other, but gosh darn it, you know, ebooks and audiobooks, you know, like digital things. And no matter what is going on, I feel like you definitely prioritize trying to connect with people online. They're a lifeline both for them and for you. And like that is very admirable. And the writing that you're doing, which is available on Smashwords, you, admirable. Again, just like keeping going in the face of what's that called? The wind that goes against you. Headwinds. My goodness. Yes. Yeah. So congratulations. Excellent commenter. Jim says, I think Julie was in your chat first. Okay. Yeah. Who knows? I like the shell game of commenters and subscribers. I think we all like hanging on to each other's coattails, if you will. Kappa said it only just started here. Started here? Started. No, I wasn't here. It said starts in 35 minutes. Huh. I set it for 10 and I went live at 10. I think, unless the pull down menu got mixed up. It only just started here. Oh, that's weird. Well, I've been talking for 34 minutes and 23 seconds. So you are now featured. Okay. All right. So we've got a couple more commenters to make up my 6 fabulous commenters, and it was kind of hard to pick here. All right. This was one you may not know. So Rebecca Rebecca is sometimes in the live chat, but more often will watch the replay. Go team replay, much respect, but leaves monster comments, which is fantastic because that means it's not like I appreciate we have different styles, right? So when I watch something, I write out the comment and send it while I'm thinking about it. And there may come an answer to that question, or there may come a different thing that I have to write another comment on, but I write it and send it because I sort of interact with the video in real time as I'm watching. Whereas other people, they can hold a thought in their head for longer. And so they wait until the whole video stops and then they have a massive comment that's like going through all the things, or just like one thing, but like reflecting on it in the in a very comprehensive way. And Rebecca is one of the latter ones. And so when she sends a comment, it's always like a book, and I love it. She talks about her book life, even though she doesn't have a channel, and we'll go in depth about like relations between books or things that she's made things that have made her think about things in more depth, I guess I should say. And so, yeah, I just love that. I love that people have different styles, and I love I get to see those different styles on my channel. It's great. It's great. As I said, weird, and I checked in, refreshed, and nada. That's so weird. Yeah, it started the usual time in Georgia. Okay, it's Mexico internet. Yeah, the administration here is messing with it. That's all I can say. So that's Rebecca's channel. I don't know, if you're a commenter who doesn't make videos, let me know if you have a feeling either way about people who subscribe to your channel. Because I think if I subscribe to a commenter only, it's because I want them to know that, hey, if you ever start a channel, I'm right here ready to support you because I think you're really funny and your taste in books is great, you know? I don't know if they feel like, why are these people subscribed to me? I don't have a channel. Like if it's just creepy. I don't know. But if you're one of those people, let me know what you think, how it makes you feel, and maybe there's a consensus. And then the final one here, I think I got off of Leslie's coattails, which is Mad World, who I think is called Lynn, because I think I've heard Leslie call her that or something, but I don't know the identity. Obviously, they don't have a channel, so it's just by the clues. And over the years, the clues get sort of messed up or disorganized in your head. So if it's not obvious and you don't have enough regular contact, you sort of forget the details. But that is Mad World's channel, also commenter only. And yeah, they drop in and often in live chats for little bits, and often in Leslie's. And so we'll talk about our thoughts about books. I think they actually have very different thoughts, kind of like who's this Cinema Paradiso? That's another one. Hasn't been by lately, but Texas. More of a movie buff than a book. Well, I guess there were books too, but anyway, yeah. So fun, different tastes, different experiences in life. I think just like contribute to thinking about things in a more broadly perspective way, which I appreciate. So yeah, 6th commenter extraordinaire, and thank you all for weighing in and like being beautiful. Political science background. Okay. Yeah, but where are they located? Do you know? East Coast? I'm trying to remember. Is it like UK, Canada? It's Canada, isn't it? It's so hard to tell sometimes. You're like, where in the world with the online world? Who knows? Okay, so that is the channel prompts, and just to let everyone know, that's 6 times 3 is 18, and I'm supposed to tag 5 other booktubers. So if you have not done this tag and you're in those 18 and I called your name out, feel free to do this tag. You are tagged. Canada, Ontario, I think. Okay. I was like, yeah, I knew what it was. Okay, so the next prompt is name 5 classics you love. Well, let's see. This is not going to be. Oh, look how tiny I wrote this. These are my responses. This is tiny, tiny. All right. Classics I love. Okay, so I picked up some, but I don't have all of them. The first one I thought of was Parable of the Sower, Octavia E. Butler. I read this and was like, it was kind of like dry. Like it was heart pounding. Like
It made me hold my breath. It was very exciting. It was very real. It was very plausible in today's society. And I was like, wow, this is my first Octavia E. Butler, and she does not disappoint. She did not leave any of her weapons at home. So like, yeah, I want to read more Octavia Butler. I did read the biography of her, Positive Obsession, on audio, and that was fantastic as well to learn more about her life. And how it was like, I think she only died in 2006, so like pretty far into my life. And again, Californian, moved from the South to California pretty early, and like the life of a woman sci-fi writer, seriously, sci-fi fantasy writer, not for the weak of heart. So that was really cool. So Parable of the Sower, classic at this point, and yeah, read it if you haven't. The next classic I love. I haven't watched your Jane Austen video yet, but I don't think this is your top. I think this is your second, Jim. Persuasion. This is the annotated Persuasion by Jane Austen. So this is one of her sketches that they have. They have so few. And yeah, this book actually has the text on one side and all the footnotes on the other. So I read this a pretty long time ago now, but I have one of the movie adaptations, and I love it. I watch it every so often. Kieran Hines, and Amanda Root. Incredible, incredible, and like the director, whoever the director was. I don't keep up with film directors. Just favorite Austen, classic. Here's the next classic we have. It's this is a book cover that I couldn't throw away. It's a box set, right? And I don't have the books from it, but look at that. Isn't that cool? How are you gonna throw that away? How are you gonna break that down and throw that away? So yeah, I kept it, even though I don't have the right books in here. I just have Return of the King and Silmarillion, which I still haven't read. Because I have my mom's copies at home hidden from the sun, because I don't want them to get damaged. They're actual like 1960s. I think they're bootleg American. You know how they wouldn't give them the copyright, whatever. But they're still like original 1960s first American edition. So yeah, classic. Love it. Love the books. Love the movies. The Hobbit, not as much. Lord of the Rings, definitely my jam. There are so many excellent stories, growth arcs, social commentaries, and then to have it in the movies where it's like acted out. Oh, there's just so many good scenes. So Peter Jackson, may your memory be blessed, like forever. He's still alive, but I that just came to me. I don't know. So yeah, cool little box set cover, and yeah, classic. Another classic. Oh yes, here. This is one of the ones I read for March of the Moderns. My first Zora Neale Hurston, not my last. Their Eyes Were Watching God. And this is a really pretty Harper Perennial edition, just like gold foil of plants on the cover. Isn't that pretty? So Their Eyes Were Watching God is, what is it from? 1937 by Zora Neale Hurston. Look at that fab hat. So 37, which means after the Harlem Renaissance and more like pre-war days, Depression days. This is a wonderful tale. It's African American perspective, very different for that time period, and so suitably a classic for our time period that everyone should read. I think it had a good start for me with like the tree moment, the blossoming moment, and then a good ending with like the hurricane. There's a lot of stuff in between where I was like, where are we going? What is happening? And so I would probably do well to read this again, but I enjoyed it the first time, and it was like emotional as well as action packed, and also like the commentaries are very subtle, which is why I think I would do well to read it again. But loved this, one of my favorites from March of the Moderns. And I've since read two, three, maybe two nonfiction by Zora Neale Hurston, because she was an anthropologist, and those are fascinating too. Like the research that she did. So great author, great writer, love it. Um, Next classic, I've got two more. Parable of the Sower, Persuasion, Lord of the Rings, Their Eyes Were Watching God. Two more, which I don't have in my hands. North and South, Elizabeth Gaskell, 1856-ish, mid-19th century, Victorian industrialization, the old farming ways and gentility versus the new industrialized machine age and new money, and how they clash and then how they reconcile. And yeah, just hope for our age, I suppose. And the movie adaptation. I've only read North and South once. I read it after I saw the movie TV miniseries adaptation, which was amazing, and it was good. But the adaptation is obviously taking up more disc space in my head because Richard Armitage, Daniela Denby Ash, like, could there be more perfect Margaret and John? No, I don't think so. All right. We have a Jim talking about classics. Wuthering Heights. No, sorry. Get out of here. Constance, hello. It's another commenter extraordinaire. Lovely to see you. Beloved. Again, sort of ruined for me in high school. I didn't really get it. I haven't brought myself to read it again. David Copperfield, Silas Marner. Silas Marner was a high school read. Don't remember, don't enjoy. And Great Gatsby. Great Gatsby was senior year, and that was fine, but eh. Interesting. Those are your 5 classics. They're very diverse, but they're not my favorites, Jim. That's fine. That's fine. Right? We each have our different tastes. Kapla says, "How do you define a classic? Age, well known." Well, I sort of said in my mind, I said not a modern classic, like, well, I guess number of copies sold, amount of times on a student curriculum, just kind of like how aware people are of the book. That's sort of what I used it as. I wasn't being too penny pincher with the definition. Constance question: the year you first made a living working from home. Ha! Ha! That's not an anniversary, no. Persuasion is number 3. Oh, okay. Prefer the more feisty heroines like Lizzie Bennet and Emma Woodhouse. Elliot was a little too passive for me. Okay. All right, so classics, North and South. And the final classic, I've always put this in with the classics that I love in previous tags. Does anyone know which one I'm going to say? It hasn't been said in the comments yet. Nope. Mayor of Casterbridge. Nope. Selling Your Wife and Child. Nope. The Stranger. Okay, The Stranger, fair. Metamorphosis. There was someone in German. Oh, no, maybe it was David who was trying to learn German before he read the Metamorphosis so that he could figure out what cockroach was actually supposed to be translated as. Anyway, none of those. Probably the longest running classic that I've loved in my life. I read it in 1995 for the first time. Oh, wait. I've talked about it before. Do you know me? Do you know me at all? Give it a guess. And then we've got 2 more prompts. 5 favorite audiobooks and 5 underrated books. I'm waiting. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, but I've got 6 because I'm 6 years. 6-year anniversary. No guesses? My longest running favorite classic? Thank you, Jim. Jane Eyre. Oh my gosh. So yeah, she may not come in for the best of treatment with the post-colonialists, and that's fair. But when I read it as a teenager, I loved Jane Eyre. Eternal Charlotte Bronte fan because of that. It's gothic, it's naturalism, it's romance, it's, good people will be rewarded in the end. How could you not like that? Uh, all right. So that's the classics. The next prompt is about audiobooks. If you listen to audiobooks, I do. I haven't in the last month though. Name 5 audiobooks that are extra special because of the audio production. Okay, now here I will take the time to say I've done a couple videos specifically on audiobooks. So I'm going to put those in the chat. One was from 2024. It was because June is audiobook month. And so I did a special on best audiobooks in there. And so some overlap with today's list is there. And then the other one was November 2021 because of November, nonfiction November, I should say. And those are favorite nonfiction books on audio. So you've got two sort of lists that will overlap a little bit, different times, obviously. So some have been updated. But yeah, so those are in the chat. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it's at the very beginning of the video and we're going through it right now. So the answer shouldn't be a mystery anymore. Okay, so favorite audiobooks. I'm gonna say, oh, here we go. The first one that came to my mind is one that Cat Paw knows. It is fictional cli-fi, All the Water in the World by Erin Caffal. This book is a taut thriller, as they say. It's in a dystopian world where sea level rise has risen to the point that New York City is protected by a big sluice gate, I guess, around the island. And these people, this young person and their family, are living on top of the Museum of Natural History in Manhattan. And they hear that the water is going to break through the gates, and so they're going to flood. They need to travel to higher ground. So thus starts their odyssey. Their odyssey, exactly, yes. And so there's a tight-knit group. We learn their tensions. They lose members. We learn their dangers as they try to get somewhere where they aren't sure that's going to be safe. Just like human nature in the pit. So good, so good. And I would like put this in the same arena as Parable of the Sower. It's like so real, so intense. Just highly recommend. And the audiobook is really good. All right, so then this one also audiobook. It's a nonfiction, so we go from a fiction to a nonfiction. This was not on my watch. It's a memoir slash documentary by Alexandra Morton. She is a scientist who has been working on the west coast of America, the Americas, and started as a whale scientist and then switched to salmon because whale can't live without salmon. So there's this whole journey that she went on, and she describes, the activism, the trying to understand policymakers' motivations, the engagement with the indigenous communities, just like all these sorts of things. And it just gives a really great overview, or sort of slice of overview, I guess, that is, what is it like to fight your whole life for a really worthy cause? And yeah, I think the fact that she like took some time in her 60s to write this book is great. It's like she doesn't stop. She also has very like candid things about like her weaknesses, or her, sort of eras where she couldn't do it anymore. And I thought that was really great that she opened up about that, to give you like a realistic portrayal of an activist's life. It's really, really, really great. And I don't think many people know about it. So please check out her audiobook. See if it's at your library. Constance has got 5 classics. Tale of Two Cities, which I read. I haven't seen an adaptation of. It was okay when I read it. Rebecca, haven't read. Haunting of Hill House, also du Maurier. Oh no, that's Haunting of Hill House. That's not Hungry Hill. Haunting of Hill House. That's the horror girly from the 60s. Yeah. Pride and Prejudice. I don't know. Okay. All right. Nice. I approve of that list. That's great. Leslie says, anniversary of escaping the clutches of patriarchal contracts, being single. No. Cat Plus says, I could not get into Murderbot series until I listened to Kevin R. Free's. Oh yeah, Kevin R. Free. He's a great narrator. Outstanding narration. So on point. Interesting. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So I definitely saw interviews with him when I worked for Audiophile magazine. He seemed really cool. But I haven't read or listened to Murderbot. So I know. Actually, I have one of them. I just haven't tried it yet. So maybe I'll see if the library has a downloadable audiobook. Maybe Macbeth. Sure. Macbeth's a good choice. Oh, hello. 11/22/63. Stephen King, favorite audiobook. Interesting. I wonder who narrates that. Nice. All right, so my third audiobook is going to be a cozy. So it's another fiction, but it's like very different from those two, right? So we've got sci-fi dystopia thriller, we've got memoir, activism, documentary, and now we've got cozy Japanese translation about memory and healing. So The Restaurant of Lost Recipes is, I think, the second in the series. This is just the audiobook that I got by Hisashi Kashiwai. This is a Japanese book about a sort of magical duo, father and daughter, who have a restaurant where they make food for people, but they're also detectives, food detectives. And people come in with a meal that they remember, but they can't make and they can't find, and they want or need it somehow for some healing. And these two food detectives track down the meal and then why it was so special and sort of get at people's food memories. It's so darling. It's lovely. So I definitely want to read the first one. I haven't yet. It's been a while. Haven't found a used copy. Rebecca is great, but I prefer Jamaica Inn because it had Wuthering Heights vibes. I think I like Jamaica Inn. Jamaica Inn is actually a place, and I've seen it's still there. It's a tourist place now, but very cool. Oh, okay. So 11/22/63. The narrator is Craig Wasson. I don't know that narrator. He's not a name I've come across, so that's very cool. Stephen King. You think he's got to be a big name, but I don't know. Great. All right, so we're going to switch back to nonfiction again for the fourth audiobook. It's going to be Indigenous issues. So this is one I got from Libro.fm. We love Libro.fm, the sweetest smelling audiobook purveyor in the land. That is the Indian card. So if you're an American or Canadian, especially, the two places that have done the most to terrify, dismantle, and oppress the indigenous populations of the Americas, this is a great modern type of book to show you what the modern, what would I call it? The things you have to leap through, the obstacle course, that's what it is. Just being a certain type of person in America. The Indian Card, Who Gets to Be Native in America by Carrie Lowry Schuetpeltz. So Carrie was working in, I think, the housing, like HUD. She's working in a federal agency, and she was in a position to see some of the benefits that were going to Indigenous folks and how they were handled in a different agency. And this got her thinking about her own roots because she is part of a tribe that is not federally recognized in North Carolina. And, you know, we know someone, A Star Reads, Amy is part of a just federally recognized tribe that is in Washington state. So there's all these legal issues. You know, I just finished 21 Things You May Not Know About the Indian Act, which is Canadian version, but this is the American version of like what they went through. Not like battles and, you know, things in the 19th century, but like the legal changes and the battles that are still being fought in the legal system, like about adoption, about land use, about criminal uh, prosecutions, and the difference between law on reservation land versus not. Like, there's still all these things that overlap that really mean they don't have their own sovereignty like they are promised. So, it is a fabulous book. She does a really great job of breaking down like things that have a long history that you don't know the whole history of, but she gets you up to speed. I just thought this was so good. I really wanted to buddy read it with Amy, but she sort of like DNF'd it. Jim says both novels turn a remote landscape into a place where normal society seems to break down and then put intense, emotionally unstable people inside it. So I think you're talking about Wuthering Heights and Jamaica Inn. Really? emotionally unstable. I gotta think from reading her 2 nonfiction that Kat Power recommended, I gotta think that Daphne du Maurier's version of emotionally unstable is a far cry from Emily Bronte's. No? I don't know. Maybe it'll come up again later and I'll know better. Capos is in the Josephine Fox trilogy. Ooh, yes. They changed narrator, which worried me, but they were both excellent. Oh, okay. That's good. You're like preparing for the worst. I lean towards Lucy Price Lewis. Constance's Jamaica Inn terrified me. Oh my gosh. Well, maybe it is more like Wuthering Heights. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so we're on the final 2 audiobooks, and these are both going to be fiction. There's The Burnout by Sophie Kinsella. I listened to this on audiobook, and I can't really say the physical book experience. Emma Bennett is the channel who disagreed with me on that. She did not like this, but she likes Sophie Kinsella in general. I hadn't read any Sophie Kinsella before this book, so I really liked the setup. It was someone who was in modern, like marketing, overworked, hustle, grind kind of culture. She finally puts herself on holiday because she has to, because she's been cautioned at work. This is in the UK. She goes somewhere which was a place that had happy family memories, and I think it might have been Cornwall, might be Devon. And there's like this old, like 70s decor hotel that she stays in that just not doing it. All the people are kind of weird, and then she runs into this guy continually who's like just annoying the hell out of her. And she doesn't know why he's there, and he doesn't know why she's there, and they both have like healing journeys to go on. They're both burnt out for different reasons, I guess. And I just thought this was a beautiful romance. It's contemporary. It's set in the UK. It's by a master romance writer, and it talks about burnout, which I don't know, for some reason at that point in time I was really drawn to. I wonder why. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was screamingly funny. There were parts of this book where I was listening and I was laughing out loud to myself on the sidewalk, which I think is a good mark of humor. So I loved it. The narrator is part of that, obviously. That definition would fit both. Okay. Cliff and Jem aren't identical, but they occupy a similar romantic territory. Mysterious, physically powerful, morally ambiguous men who initially seem threatening. Oh no, don't bring in the morally gray component. That's such a modern book trend. Ugh. I don't know if you see those on TikTok. That's probably not your side of TikTok, Jim, but like it's a big thing for the girlies. I will say. Oh, hello, Kiana. You've been shouted out in this video. Author Caitlin Young. Hello. Oh my gosh. I think I recognize you from a long time ago. Welcome. We're doing 6th anniversary book tag today. All right, the last favorite audiobook is going to be one of my OG audiobooks and one of my favorite narrators, hands down. Miss Austen by Jill Hornby. And I will say, I just started Godmersham Park, which is another Jill Hornby book. So Jill Hornby is a contemporary writer, but she wrote about Cassandra Austen in this book, Miss Austen. So basically, she writes about the whole family, but she's set up this tale where it's like 15 years after Jane Austen's death. Cassandra is still alive, still living off others in the family because she's a spinster. What is her life like? How do people treat her? What are her feelings towards her missing sister, her grief, etc.? And so the plot is basically instigated by the fact that someone wants to read the letters because they're writing a biography of Jane Austen, and Cassandra's like, oh no, they can't get those letters. What's in them? So we're like very curious about what's in them, and we get little snatches, flashbacks about the life that they shared. And oh my goodness, the place where Cassandra lives now is like Somerset. I think it must be Somerset by the accent that they use. But oh my god, the accents that not Jill, who's the actress? Oh my gosh, she's the one from, is it Helen? The one from Bend It Like Beckham. She's blonde. It's not Hannah Wadham because it's not like a recent one. Shoot. Let me look her up. Oh, cast, crew, and credits. I loved this movie when I was younger. Juliet Stevenson. There we go. Um, oh my gosh. So she plays Knightley's Keira Knightley's, yeah, mother. And in Bend It Like Beckham. And in this one, she's the narrator who does all the voices, but she particularly puts on this, I think, Somerset accent for the servants where Cassandra is in the present day. Oh my God, it's hilarious. So that made me also laugh out loud. It's just, you can't do that in a book. Really, really good. Highly recommend. Kappa says Jenny Funnel also did a really good job of The Night in Question by Susan Fletcher. All right. Interesting. That's a narrator I'm not familiar with either. Cool. Key says, oh, my daughter did not, but the Hadestown vinyl. Wait, what? Did I miss something? I don't think so. Are you maybe she's starting at the beginning and isn't caught up. Hi, Erin. I'm late. Happy 6th birthday. Thank you. Kappa says the MC is in her 80s, so there are flashbacks to her really colorful life at different ages and the people she interacts with. You know, I was just trying to plan out some videos for my trip when I'll be away, and I was looking at Friday 21st, 2 days from now. It's National Senior Citizen Day. And so I thought, maybe we should talk about older characters in books, because this makes me think of who would I shout out as literary characters that are older. That'd be a good one. I think I've done something like it before for tags, but yeah. From my live, I mentioned that she bought it, but she didn't. Oh, right. My daughter did not buy the Hadestown vinyl. I misspoke. Okay. Yeah, vinyl or CD. I was looking for the CD. That's right. And Key's live, I was like, where did she get it? Because it's not available anywhere. Yeah, I'm just looking for like a physical, not the digital. Because, yeah. Hadestown. Yay. Okay, so those are my favorite audiobooks. We got, I think, one more prompt. Classics, audiobooks. Prompt number 7. Name 5 books you love that you rarely hear about and you'd love for more people to discover. Okay, so underrated books. Okay, the way that I looked this up was I looked up 5-star books on my Storygraph, and then I went to ones that I thought weren't as well known, and I looked at how many reviews they had in Storygraph. Now, this isn't the best system because Storygraph will not have as many as Goodreads. I refuse to use Goodreads because it's part of the evil empire. So I went through, and these are like the most recent 5 stars, I guess. I'm not sure what order they put them in, but you can't sort them in any other order. So it's the magic Storygraph order. First one that I put here, you will not have heard of because I've only talked about it once or twice. And that is, oh, here, let me share it so that you can see the cover so that you can remember it, because otherwise I know people don't really intake information. Anyone know that tune? 5 extra credit points if you know that tune. Here we go. So first favorite underrated is this one, What Water Holds. I listened to it as an audiobook from Libro.fm, the sweetest smelling audiobook purveyor in the land. And we're not talking about land, we're talking about water. This is by Tella Odson. And okay, so if you're not in the Northwest, you may not know, but there's a regional writing organization called Fisher Poets. And it's basically people who have had significant life experience on the water, either in fishing boats or traveling, living, etc. Right? And so I know about Fisher Poets because one of my previous writing group mates was part of Fisher Poets, and that is Laura Messersmith Glavin, and I have her book up here. She blurbed this book, and I don't know this person, What Water Holds. This book is a memoir. It is about a woman who takes her childhood on a boat in Alaska up to the present day, talks about how she made her choices, how it shaped her life, how she returned to the water, how it's sort of eking out a very precarious existence, how she thinks about how she's taking life. There's so many aspects in this that were so gentle and considered, and I just really love that. So yeah, not heard of, not well known. It still deserves attention. I think more people would really love this if they want something calmer, something introspective, something about the water, about the West Coast, about the fishing life, about history, and like family dynamics. I just thought this was really well done. Your daughter was going to buy it but changed her mind. She had the opportunity, but she didn't get it. This is not, I don't understand. It's not a question of the day. I don't know why everyone's still answering this question. Good one. Bean's gotcha day. Bean doesn't have a birthday. Yeah. Life after life, Atkinson should never stop being talked about. Okay. I didn't read that one. All right, so underrated number 1. Underrated number 2, I have in my hot little hand here. It's this one. I Want a Better Catastrophe. I'm sure you've heard me talk about this before. It's by Andrew Boyd. It's got a big kraken on the cover, or Cthulhu if you're into Laura Nettles. Navigating the climate crisis with grief, hope, and gallows humor. Oh, What the Water Holds has 21 reviews on Storygraph. Better Catastrophe has 162. Basically, I was looking for ones under 1,000 because I figure that's reasonably small, right? So you've heard me talk about this one. It's for people who are climate activists who are either going through the grief cycle, trying to like get back up, or are just like worn down, burned out, and need a different way to look at it because it feels hopeless. So I Want a Better Catastrophe. Please pick that up. It will make you feel better. It will make you feel not alone. Underrated book. Third underrated book, Sustaining Self-Care. So let me find that and then pop it up again. This is, here we go. One I read for Climathon. Sustaining Spirit is the title, and the subtitle is Self-Care for Social Justice by Naomi Ortiz. So I read both her books pretty close together. She has one that's more poetry and one that's more self-helpy. This is also for climate activists, but this is also for other types of activists, disability activists, people who really are working on their passion project, who are putting their heart into what they're doing, and so have a higher risk of burning out. Yeah, this is how do you balance doing the work you're called to do with like not burning out, and how do you ask for help, and how do you form a community, and how do you have people who are interdependent? How do you work towards that rather than transactional? I just thought it was really good. She's done a lot of thinking, productive thinking, and I really appreciated her perspective and would love anyone to learn about Naomi Ortiz and follow her and yeah, just read her books. I think they'd be great. Okay, next underrated book. The Sustaining Spirit has 35 reviews on Storygraph, so it definitely deserves more. The next one is another physical book. So this one, 4th underrated, is Light Rain Sometimes Fall by Lev Parikian. A British Year Through Japan's 72 Seasons. So this is a nature memoir. It's by someone who's in Britain, who is a conductor, I believe, and during the pandemic, he took up the Japanese tradition or conceptual framework, let's say, of having 72 mini seasons rather than 4 main seasons, in order to notice the changes around him. So it's about 10 days each, and you sort of notice, oh, what is my environment doing now? You're going outside, you're noticing when you can't be in close proximity to people, when you can't do your job conducting an orchestra, etc. you really notice things around you. So this had 64 reviews. Look at the cover. The cover itself is so cool. It's like paper art style, but like all these little things that they talk about in the book. So really on topic. I loved it. I should look back into it. Yeah, nature, grounding, helping, loved it. Fifth underrated book and sixth underrated book. So let me do the sixth one first. So that I can end with a one in my hand. So many good books, so many 5-star reads. I love it. Underrated, underrated, underrated. Come on. No? Oh, here we go. It's just slow because it's the unlimited scroll. Okay, my books are definitely on my 5-star categories. That's fine. This is a book. Okay, the one I'm searching for is a book I read a long time ago. It made a big impression on me, so it's still in my 5-star category. But it's a romance thriller by Elizabeth Lowell. I don't know if anyone has read Elizabeth Lowell. It's kind of like Danielle Steele, right? She's like a mass market paperback writer, and this book was a little bit out of her normal because she took something that was out of her own family history and sort of put it into this little thriller. And I loved that I got to learn about that in her author note, like at the end. I was like, that's so cool. And if it would ever load the rest of the books. No? There we go. It's loading again. It's called Moving Target. It's taking forever. Oh, and now it's just frozen. Okay. Anyway, so I'll just talk about this one without a visual cue. It's mass market paperback. They're probably not printing it anymore anyway. So Moving Target is about someone who's, I don't even know why she's like alone. She's living alone, kind of like Sandra Bullock in The Net, right? And she inherits this scarf, which is like mysteriously, supernaturally adaptable somehow, right? And she starts getting like death threats and people coming after her to like steal something in her house or kill her or whatever. And these people from an auction house are the ones that like are coming to appraise the things that she inherits and are like, why are you getting shot at? And so they are forced proximity, my favorite trope. They talk it out, they try to figure out what's going on. They're like weirded out by the adaptableness of this scarf. Yeah, and it just sort of unrolls, and like you see things from the past sort of come into play that you couldn't know about. I just thought it was really cool, and it was unlike any other sort of romance thriller that I'd read. I just really liked it. So Moving Target is my fifth underrated book by Elizabeth Lowell. And then the last one, I love that cover. I think that was about the light rain sometimes fall. Yeah, me too. Jim says underrated. Lyrebird, Murder on the Devil's Ridge. Oh, Perlin, not Pelerin, but Perlin, Decline by Pay. Sea of Rust, Perfect Place to Die. Huh. I think I've heard you talk about most of those. Very nice. My final, sixth and final, favorite underrated book would be a cookbook, which I'm sure you've heard me talk about. This is by Benjamina Oebuehi. She's a British Black cook. This is called A Good Day to Bake. So I got this when it was remaindered at Powell's, and I have cooked many things out of this. I'm not sure if you could tell. These are all written on, which means I've tried them out, and some of them multiple times. So look at all that. Sometimes I get cookbooks because they're just like pretty and I could dream and I could think, oh yeah, that's a good combination. I should try it in some other form. And so I don't actually make a lot of recipes, just like inspiration. this one I've made like almost all the ones that I've tagged, which is pretty impressive. So if I do say so myself, underrated books. This has 39 reviews. Come on, people, this is gold. She does the intro paragraphs, which I love. So you have like a little bit about how she made the recipe, what it's best for, what it makes her think of, and it's just a little cozy intro. And then you've got easy American measurements. There's no like British thing about it that makes it hard. Great combinations, different categories, some savory, some sweet. Like she's great. People should get behind this. She doesn't have any social media channels, so she's not someone to follow, but like her baking stuff is top tier. So I would love to see other people support her. Yeah, that is the tag. And we've gone 20 minutes over, but yes. So the name 5 tag, thank you to Daniela and Alan for tagging me so long ago. I had to wait until my anniversary, number 6, to do this. And in case you hadn't realized, the anniversary that I celebrate is the Booktube anniversary because I've actually kept track of it. I don't have any other anniversaries that I really track or anything. So yeah, those are the books, those are the channels. Celebrate yourselves. If any of the 18 of you have not done this tag that I've tagged in here, and your anniversary is coming up, put this on your list to do because I thought it was a really cool list of prompts. So thank you, Sue, for doing those. Those are fun. Yeah, 6 years. Here we go, baby. Cat Paw says the weight of ink, light from uncommon stars, the introvert advantage, luminous darkness, a place called here. We've got 2 Cecilia Ahern books on the underrated books list. Nicely done, Cecilia. That's cool. Thank you, Gareth. Yeah, do you guys keep track of your Booktube anniversary? Ish, right? She was on Bake Off. Yeah, that's how people get famous these days. Happy, what is it? It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Garrison is pretty sure I'm 6 years too. Okay, excellent. Yeah, excellent. So, okay, that's us for today. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I do fun things. Just ask anybody. Otherwise, thank you for joining and watching this tag. Have a lovely Wednesday. Take care of yourselves out there. Hydrate. Get rest. Take in what you need to, and I will see you again soon. Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific. Thanks, everyone, and I will talk to you again soon.